Absolutely. Here's a rewritten, polished version of your story. Still powerful, motivational, and emotional, but now smoother, more structured, and ideal for speaking, storytelling, or video narration. How English changed my life, from a small town to a big dream. Hello, everyone. Today, I want to share an incredible story. The story of how English took me to my dream, my passion, and my success. If you have big dreams, whether it's to become a doctor, engineer, lawyer, entrepreneur, or anything extraordinary, then let me tell you this. You need English. 100%. No doubt about it. English is spoken by over 1.5 billion people around the world. It's the language of business, travel, science, and the internet. Without it, you could miss out on life-changing opportunities, better jobs, international friendships, or even understanding your favorite movies and books in their original form. But don't worry, you can start today. If I could learn English and change my life, so can you. My name is Sophia, and I'm from Brazil. I was born in a small town in Brazil. My family wasn't rich or poor, just middle class. We had enough to live a decent life, but luxuries were out of reach. My father was a taxi driver, and my mother was a school teacher. They always told me, education is the key to success. Since I was a little girl, I had one dream, to become a doctor. I remember the day that dream truly came alive. I was 10 years old. My little brother was seriously sick with a high fever. We rushed to the hospital. My parents were crying. We were terrified. Then a doctor walked in, calm, confident, and kind. He smiled and said, "Don't worry. I'll take care of your son." I watched him work, checking my brother, giving medicine, speaking with such knowledge. And just like that, within hours, my brother's fever dropped. He was okay. At that moment, I knew, one day, I will be a doctor. I will save lives. A harsh reality. I needed English. As I grew up, I discovered something terrifying. To become a doctor, I needed English. Every medical book, every research paper, all in English. Even in Brazil, to study medicine and work in hospitals, English was essential. But my English? It was terrible. I went to a public school where English was barely taught. I knew words like hello and how are you, but that was it. Once my English teacher asked me to read a sentence out loud. The words danced on the page. I couldn't read. I froze. I wanted to cry. I whispered, "I don't know, miss." The class laughed. I went home, sat in my room, and asked myself, how will I ever become a doctor if I can't even read English? My father's advice changed my life. That evening, my father came home from work and saw me sad. He sat beside me and asked, "What's wrong, Sophia?" I said, "Papa, I want to become a doctor, but my English is bad. Without English, I can't study medicine." He was silent for a while. Then he said something I'll never forget. "If English is your problem, then go to a place where everyone speaks English. Learn it." I was shocked. "But Papa, we don't have money for that." He smiled and said, "We don't have much, but we have enough. Your dreams are important." That night, we sat as a family and decided, Canada. Why Canada? English is spoken everywhere. I would be forced to practice daily. The education system is excellent. It's multicultural and friendly to international students. And compared to other countries, it was more affordable. My parents used nearly all their savings for my flight, my English school, and a few months of living expenses. Before I left, my mother held my hand and said, "Sophia, we're giving you everything we have. Promise us you won't give up." I had tears in my eyes. "I promise, Mama." With one suitcase, little money, and a big dream, I flew to Canada. A new world and a new struggle. I landed in Toronto. It was freezing, totally different from Brazil's warmth. The food, the people, the culture, everything felt alien. Worst of all, the English. At the airport, a man asked me, "Hey, do you need a taxi?" I panicked. I didn't understand. I just smiled and nodded. When he said, "Where to?" I froze again. I didn't even understand the question. That night, In a small rented room, I cried. What am I doing here? I don't understand anything. How will I survive? The next day, I went to my English language school. The teacher said, "Let's introduce ourselves." When it was my turn, I stood up, shaking. "My name's Sophia. I'm from Brazil." Some students laughed. I sat down, embarrassed. But that night, I made a decision. No matter how hard it gets, I will learn English. I will not give up. My secret English learning tricks. Here's how I did it: the headphone trick. I walked around the city pretending to be on a phone call, but I was talking to myself in English. I'm walking on the street. The sky is blue. That woman is wearing a red coat. 3 words a day. Rule. I learned 3 new words every day and used them in sentences. No more subtitles. I stopped watching movies with subtitles. I forced myself to listen and understand. One day at a cafe, the barista asked, "What can I get you?" I replied, "I would like a cappuccino, please." She said, "Almond milk or regular?" I understood. I said, "Regular, please." It was a tiny moment, but it felt like winning a gold medal. Life was still hard, but I kept going. Living in Canada was expensive. Rent, $800 per month. Groceries, $250. Transport, $120. Phone, $50. English classes, $500 per month. I worked part-time in a cafe while studying English. I woke up early, studied, worked, cooked, and missed home every day. But I remembered my parents' sacrifice. I couldn't give up. Eventually, I stopped translating in my head. I started thinking in English. That's when everything changed. From learner to native-like fluency. One day, I decided to talk to a native speaker. I was nervous. A girl next to me in a cafe said, "Ugh, this line is so long, right?" I smiled and replied, "Yeah, it's really long." And just like that, we had a full conversation. I wasn't translating. I wasn't scared. I was just speaking. To sound more natural, I practiced shadowing, repeating sentences from TV shows, copying the accent and tone. I kept a notebook of my mistakes and corrected them daily. I joined meetups, used language exchange apps, and made Canadian friends. The more I spoke, the better I became. From student to doctor. My biggest challenge came next: the IELTS exam, required for medical school. I studied every day, reading medical texts, writing essays, recording myself speaking. The day of the exam, I was shaking, but I told myself, "Sophia, you've come this far. You're ready." I passed. That day, I cried tears of joy. I had done it. I got accepted into one of the top medical schools in Canada. Medical school was another level. Technical terms, advanced writing, tough presentations. But I didn't quit. I worked harder than ever. And finally, I graduated as doctor. Sophia Williams. Today, my life is a dream. But I built it my first job? $88,000 per year at a hospital in Toronto. I went from having $5 in my bank account to helping save lives. One day, a scared little girl came into the ER. I held her hand and said, "Don't worry, sweetheart. I'll take care of you." Her mother whispered, "Thank you, doctor." That was the moment I realized I made it. My final message to you people often say, "Accept yourself as you are." I say, no, don't accept being average. Become your best self. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your teachers, not your friends. Only you can change your life. So if you want a great future, learn English like your life depends on it. Talk to strangers, make mistakes, embarrass yourself, grow. Today, I live in a beautiful apartment, drive my dream car, support my parents, and live the life I once only imagined. I wasn't lucky. I worked for it. And you can too. You have 2 choices. Do nothing. Keep dreaming. Start today. Learn English. Change your life. The choice is yours. And if you're ready to grow, I'm here to help you every step of the way. Now go. Become the best version of yourself. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version, video script formatting, or a version tailored for Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube.